Thanks for coming. So my name is Frédéric Harper. No relation with who you're thinking right now. Please, always do the joke, but it's true. No relation, just the same name. As you probably already noticed, I'm a francophone, so you're gonna have to live with my beautiful accent for the rest of the presentation. So this is my second time as a speaker. I really enjoyed that social media breakfast in Montreal. This is really cool. Thanks guys for organizing. Oh my God, thanks for doing it. Perfect. Last time I talked about personal branding, and my topic today is going to be a little bit related to personal branding at some point. So feel free to tweet during the presentation, of course, at the Twitter handle of ENJ, and have in mind, if you want to comment on something I said, if you disagree with something I said, if you want to quote something, feel free to do it. After the presentation, you can go on outofcomfortzone.net. This is my personal blog with blog posts in French and English, most of the time in Franglish. I'm going to post my presentation there after. I'm also recording my presentation, so the audio will be really terrible. But at least you're going to have something that matches the slides, and if you don't remember something, you don't have to take notes about everything. You're going to have the audio post on my blog, maybe today, worst case, in 1 or 2 days. So, public speaking, no thanks. So my goal today, one my clicker is going to work, and my clicker is not going to work. Oh, got it. So my role today is really to help you understand that you too can be public speaker. And this is my only goal. So I'm not going to talk during 1 hour. I want to introduce the topic, maybe 20, 30 minutes maximum. Feel free to ask me questions, to interrupt me during the presentation. And after, my goal is really to have a discussion with you about public speaking. So if you have any question, any comments, any insults, please let me know during or after the presentation. So I will start with a boring story. Now, I'm not going to talk about myself for 10, 15, or 20 minutes. I just want to introduce a little bit my story about public speaking. Why today I'm one of the guys that can be in front of you to talk about public speaking. So 3 years ago, I said to myself, Fred, there's 2 things you want to do now that you're not doing. I was a developer. I was creating software, mobile, web software, and I said to myself, this is really cool. I really enjoy doing that work. But I would like to be a technical evangelist. So what is a technical evangelist? It's the job that I'm doing today. And it's basically to give love to developer. This is basically my job. So I give hugs to developer. I help them. I'm there to really help them to be successful on our platform. And part of the job is to be on social media, is to help with technical questions. It's also to do presentation in conferences, workshop, hackathons, user group. So 3 years ago, I said I want to be a technical evangelist, but I want to start to do public speaking for 2 things. First, I need to get some experience if I want to get my dream job. Secondly, I think that I would be able to be maybe good enough to share a passion I have to other people. So at that point, I was all into social media, and still today, I really like social media. It was not my job. I was not an expert, but I had some experience that I wanted to share with other people. So again, 3 years ago, I said to myself, okay, Fred, let's do something. Let's try to find somewhere where you're going to be able to do public speaking. So at that time, we had a conference in Montreal called Overcame Montreal. I don't know if some people of you knows about it. It's not happening anymore, but it was a conference not just about podcasts, it was really about social media. So at that time I was organizing a conference, actually it was more a festival around geek stuff. Not gay stuff, geek stuff. No, this is funny because the first time I told this to my mother, she was, oh, I didn't know that you were that kind of person. I said, no, geek, not gay. I have nothing against gay, but it was a geek conference. And we basically got 500 people on the first year and more than 700 people on the second edition. And we only use social media to promote the event. So we really use our online network to do it. So I said to myself, Fred, maybe you can share something about this, your experience. What went well, what didn't went well. And so I proposed a talk about how to organize an event using social media. And I got accepted. So I did the talk. This is a picture of me. First presentation ever. I was terrified. Actually, it's quite not true because I've always been like, I never had a lot of problem to talk in front of people since a couple of years, but it was still my first presentation, and I had too many people in my room, really too many people in my room, because it was a conference with 3 tracks at the same time, and I was expecting to have maybe 20 people. I think I have near to 100 people. It was like, oh my God, first presentation, 100 people. I know half of the people, they're gonna laugh at me, that's gonna be terrible, oh my God. Actually, it went so well that I got some proposal from people in the room to ask me to do presentation on social media in their company, in their association. So it was my first experience. A couple of months ago, I was able to land my dream job. I wanted to be a technical evangelist, so because I organized even, because I started to do public speaking, I got a couple of public speaking opportunity behind my back. So Microsoft approached me and they said, hey, we're looking for a technical evangelist in Montreal, would you like to join Microsoft? So because I started to do public speaking, I landed my dream job because it gave me a lot of great opportunities that I'm going to talk a little more after. So at that time, I'm starting to do a lot of conferences all across Canada and different conferences, going from maybe 20, 30 people to 1,000 people. But it was all over Canada, so really good. I got a lot of great experience about public speaking. I don't consider myself as an industry leader, but I consider most of that guys in that picture, people in IT, maybe in the web, you would probably recognize some people, Jeffrey Zellman, Ethan Marco, Josh Clark. So those people in the web industry, they're industry leaders. So I was able at that time to be on the stage with those guys. I'm talking about this, I had some goosebumps. It was amazing, it was a great experience. And after this, I got a new job. I said, okay, I want to change, I want something new. I want to continue to be a technical evangelist, but maybe somewhere else. So it's me today with my lovely Firefox app, and I'm working at Mozilla. So I'm still a technical evangelist. I'm still doing public speaking, but I'm doing public speaking all over the world. So 2 weeks ago, I was in Brussels. 4 weeks ago, I was in Poland. Tomorrow I'm going to Mexico. Next month I'm going to Hungary. It's not to brag about. It's just to tell you that. Actually, it's a little bit to brag about this, because it's really cool. So I've got a place to travel, but at the same time, it's really about me doing some public speaking all across the world. So I came from that guy 3 years ago that was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can speak in front of people, to someone who can speak in front of 1,000 people all across the world. So this is my own story. I hope I'm credible enough to continue that talk around public speaking. So why public speaking? How many of you know Seth Godin?
Yes.
People that didn't raise their hand, go out of the room. No, it's not true. But you need at least at some point during the day, during the week, to go on Google, type Seth Godin. He probably wrote 1,000 books. I don't know how many books he wrote at that time. But one of the things that I really like, and it's a theme across many of his books, it's about heart. What we do day to day. What I'm doing as a technical evangelist. What I was doing as a developer. What you're doing as a marketing person, as an HR person, as a web developer, as an SEO expert. You're doing your heart. You're doing heart, creating heart. You're an artist. And part of doing public speaking is to be able to share your heart with other people. And not your heart, but maybe you too. But share your heart with other people. So this is I would say, the basic stuff when it comes to public speaking. It's really to be able to share a passion you have with other people. And it's really amazing. I don't know for you, I'm someone who likes to share stuff, to help other people. So by doing public speaking, it really helped me to share passion I have with other folks, other people. It helped others. If you are there today, maybe it's because you wanted to get a really good breakfast, and I totally get it. Maybe it's because you wanted to learn about public speaking. So this morning, you're going to learn a little more about public speaking. I hope you're going to be excited about public speaking. So I'm going to help you to understand something about a topic, a specific topic. And this is really what is great when you're doing public speaking, is that you are helping others. But it's not just about people in the room. Sorry about this. I will probably get more out of this morning myself than you're gonna get out of this morning. Because as a speaker, what I'm gonna learn from you, it's amazing. You're gonna ask me questions about things that I may not know. You're gonna talk to me about your experience. Most of the time, 95% of my talks are mostly technical topics. And when I'm talking about a specific topic, you may be in the room and you may know more about this topic than me. It's not because I'm on the stage that I'm that super huge expert that know everything. So you're gonna talk to me about something new I didn't know. And I'm gonna be able to use it in my day-to-day job. I'm gonna be able to change my presentation for next time to have some stuff, so I'm gonna learn a lot from you. So as a public speaker, you learn a lot from attendees. You get some visibility. You know Waldo? Oh, come on.
Where is he?
Yeah, where is Waldo? So you're gonna get great visibility because when you're on the stage, when you have the mic, when you're in front of people, you're all looking at me or your phone because it's boring or because you're tweeting. But either one of these reasons, most of you looking at me. So even if you didn't know me before, now you will probably remember, oh, for Harper, yeah, that guy that did a boring presentation about public speaking. So you're gonna remember me. And that's gonna happen in every conference. You may not remember me maybe 6 months, 1 year after. But if you, at some point, you start to do public speaking related to my presentation in 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and you want to have some tips, some tricks, or you're organizing a conference, I really have a problem with that word. You're creating a conference and you need some speaker. You may think about me. Or now I'm doing a talk about public speaking, but usually I'm doing a talk about technical topics. So if I'm doing a talk about HTML5, web technology, and you have a company and want to create a website, you're probably gonna think about me because you saw me presenting about that topic in a conference. So this is also amazing for networking. The network that you create when you present, because people know you, because people come to talk to you, because you're gonna talk to people, because you're gonna meet people, because you're gonna exchange business card, because we're gonna have each other on LinkedIn, because you're gonna follow me on Twitter, or I'm gonna follow you on Twitter. So the network that you create, I went from 3 years ago from, let's be honest, an okay network in Montreal. I was always involved in a lot of things in Montreal, user groups, events. I was doing my job in my company, from a huge network. And part of it is, of course, my role, because my role is kind of public facing for my company as a technical evangelist. But a big part of it is all the people I met in conferences, user group, workshop. Even this morning, I had some people, hey, Fred, remember me? We saw at this conference, we saw each other at that conference, at that hackathon. So those are people that I met because I did public speaking. You may be in the room right now. That doesn't mean that you will know everything in the room, everyone in the room. So you have that opportunity. And at some point, you become the expert. If you are in front of the people right now, by doing public speaking, by sharing a passion you have, by sharing a topic you know, you become the expert. Take Fabrice. Do you know Fabrice in the room? Fabrice Calendo? You spoke at Social Media Breakfast maybe 1, 2, 3, 10 times. Really good speaker. If you don't know Fabrice, I saw Fabrice presented around LinkedIn. Yeah. I think this guy's beautiful. He's a little more beautiful than you, but it's okay. Yeah, so I saw Fabrice talk about LinkedIn a couple of times on stage with a mic, online, in different events, and I said, oh my God, this guy is the LinkedIn expert. So when I was at Microsoft and we were looking for a LinkedIn expert to do a workshop for us, because we're all using LinkedIn, but I don't think we were using it really well. So I said, hey, I know an expert. That gave him a job around that. So he did a workshop for us. So now you have Microsoft as a client. So whether you like or not Microsoft, he got this on his CV, on his resume. And this is really cool because, sorry?
On my LinkedIn profile.
And on LinkedIn, yeah, thanks. And on your LinkedIn profile. So why I talk about Fabrice is because I saw him speak. Because it was in front of me to talk about LinkedIn. I said, this guy is the expert. Think about Ray. Ray's not there. Yeah, he was supposed to be there. Ray is. is the Google Plus expert. Why? Because when you think about Google Plus, you're developing your personal branding around this, and it's so important. This is a pet peeve of me. Personal branding today in 2012, 13. I'm tired. I'm living in the past. I was young at that time, so no. But I did 2 presentations in high school last week, and I was so old. Like, oh my God, who's that old guy in front of us? So I'm feeling old now. So I'm living in the past. But personal branding is important. Now in Montreal, most of us, when we need a Google Plus expert, Ray, we're going to think about Ray because he did some public speaking, because he did some web conference online. So there are some people that we associate with some topics, and they may have written books, blogs, all those things. But public speaking is probably the most powerful of all the tools that you can use to create your brand, your personal branding. So I hope you understand a little more why it's important, why you should start to do public speaking. So let's see how. So I always like to go on Wikipedia and see the definition. So on Wikipedia, public speaking is the process and act of speaking to a group of people in a structured, deliberate manner intended to inform, influence, or entertain a listening audience. If you're lucky, the audience will listen. But I disagree a little bit with that Wikipedia, so I have a better version. I just removed the R, and I changed this for a N. Your role as a public speaker, of course, is not to do the clown in front of people and be that funny guy that always makes some jokes. If it's your style, it's kind of my style, do it. But if it's not your style, don't do it. But if you can have the best topic in the world, you can be the #1 expert about one topic. If you are boring, I don't care about your topic. I don't care about you. I don't want to listen to you. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to go on Twitter. I'm going to go on Facebook. I'm going to talk with someone else. I'm going to go out in the room to go to another conference or another track in the conference. If you're not entertaining people, that's not going to work. So this is your role as a public speaker when you go on stage. How many of you have a passion? Raise your hand. Come on. There's really some people that didn't raise your hand. Like, you really have a poor life if you have no passion. You have family, you have friends, you have kids. Those may be your passion. You have a work that you like. Do you like photography or doing some sport? Everybody has a passion. And I'm going to try to do a link with the picture. Don't throw your passion to the garbage. Use it, share it with other people. So most of the time people told me, hey Fred, I really would like to do public speaking, but I'm not an expert on something. I don't care. Do you have a passion? Good enough. And it's totally fine when you're on stage to say, I don't know. Actually, it's even better to say, I don't know to a question you got from someone than trying to answer something really shitty, and you're just going to ruin your credibility if you do this. So you have a passion, you know enough to do a presentation around 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, good, perfect, go on stage. You're going to be that expert, you're going to be able to share your passion. So don't tell me that you're not expert enough to do public speaking. I will say bullshit. Are you afraid of speaking in front of people? How many of you are afraid? You did it well, it's okay. You're afraid? Good, perfect. At least one person is honest in the room. Mostly, everybody is afraid of speaking in front of people. I was afraid. I was terrified just to speak to one people when I was a teenager. I was a really, really shy person. And usually people don't trust me and they don't believe me when I say this, but I was really a shy person. Today I can go on the table, dance and sing. I have no problem. Maybe I went from one extreme to the other one too much, but I have no problem today. Why? Well, it's personal stuff in my life. I said, okay, Fred, you're losing too much opportunity. Just stop being shy, and that worked. But at some point, there's always some stuff that you need to go out of your comfort zone. Oh, link with my blog. See this? So at some point, you may want to go, not you may want, you will go out of your comfort zone. When you were a kid, were you afraid of doing the bicycle? No? I'm really happy for you. I was afraid. I was afraid. Actually, it went well when I had those helping wells or those 4 wells, and my dad was helping me. But at some point, he removed the wells. He stopped to help me. I was, oh my God, like, how's gonna happen? I'm gonna like throw myself on the wall. And at some point, I stopped to be afraid. I was not that guy who do a lot of jump everywhere and do those crazy things. But for people that were like me, that were afraid of doing bicycle, or just think about anything else, that you were afraid at some point, and now you made it. This is the same thing with public speaking. This is the same thing being in front of people. Exact same thing. So at some point, you're going to overcome that fear of being in front of people, and you're going to make it. So you will start slowly. You're going to be shy. You're going to be stressed. That's going to be probably a disaster, your first presentation. Maybe not. But it's okay. Fail. Learn about it. Make it again. And you're going to be even better the next time. And this is how it goes. So of course, with those little tricks that I'm going to talk to you, you're not going to be a super expert speaker that's going to do international speaking right now. This is not the goal of that presentation. But let's see how we can start to do public speaking. So today, after that presentation, you go back at home, you go back at work, you said, oh, Fred was totally right. I need to start to do public speaking, but I don't know where to start. So the first thing is defining your topic. What is my passion? What I want to talk about? What I want to share with others? What is the specific things that I can call hard that I'm going to share with other people? So define your topic. List your speaking points. I have my topic. My topic is public speaking. My goal is really I want people to understand that it's not that bad. And there's a lot of great opportunity to do public speaking. Now, I need to create the framework, create the architecture of my presentation. So I'm going to talk a quick intro about my goals of my presentation. I'm going to talk a little bit about my story, just to create, to make the credibility and to talk about a really good story. A nice story about starting from zero, from scratch, and being an international speaker. After this, I'm going to talk about why it's important and how you can start. So I define the big bullet, the big picture of my presentation. And I create my story around it. Because this is really a story. You need to have a flow in your presentation. So you need to create, that sounds stupid, but from the beginning to the end, you need to keep people interested. You need to have that story. You need to connect with the people in the audience. So you need to create your story about the presentation you will do. You need to create the visual material. And it's a visual material for attendees, not for you. Die bullet points. So many people, I used to work in Microsoft, and I was like, so many people was like, PowerPoint is shitty, I prefer Keynote, or I prefer to use that new cool stuff on the web. It's like, good for you. But PowerPoint is not shitty. It's how you use PowerPoint that is shitty. If you put a lot of bullet points, and if you can read my slides, I don't have to be in front of you. Just take a book and read the topics that I wanted to share with you. So if attendees can read your slides, there is no point of you being there. And sorry, that's it. There is no point for you being there. So I didn't make that image, but I still think that it's 4 wins. But at the end, I started with bullet points also. So there's nothing that stops you to have those little taglines. They help me, they help you, but they help me also. When you're using some software to present like PowerPoint, you can have a dual view. So you can have the presenting view for the attendees, and you're going to have the speaker view. I don't have it, but you can have that speaker view with your notes. Don't read your notes, but that's going to be a really good memory helper for your presentation. Practice. You need to practice, because you need to be able to do it in front of people. So there is many ways to practice your presentation. Some people will do it in front of a mirror. Some people will do it with friends and family. Some people will record themselves with a mic to listen to them after. Other people will do this with a camera. I personally, just funny enough, I have no problem to speak in front of people. When I practice, I close the door of my office and I speak alone. I do it myself alone, nobody. I want people to listen to me when I'm practicing. So this is my way of doing this. But you need to practice to be good. And you need to practice again. Because when you practice, when you do it, you're going to see that there's a problem in your flow. Like all the information is there, but maybe it's not well structured. Like yesterday, I practiced my presentation. I said, oh, this is really good, but actually I'm really humble. I said this is really good. Yeah. I probably said to myself, this is an amazing presentation, like that's gonna be awesome. But at some point I said, oh, there's like 4 slides for a topic that fits in the presentation. But it was right at the beginning. And I move it at the end because that makes a lot more sense. It's not the time when you're in front of the people to understand, oh my God, this is shitty. Just wait a minute, I will modify my slide and change the flow of my presentation. That's not gonna work. And guess what? The next thing you have to do, you need to practice again. And when you're gonna get more experience, you will need to practice less and less. That doesn't mean that you need to give a shitty show, because it's a show. I'm giving a show, I'm talking to you. The show must go on. I need to give you a great presentation so you appreciate your morning, so you didn't have a feeling that you lost your time. And I hope it's not the feeling you have right now. But by practicing, you're going to be able to see how it goes. You're going to be able to see how much time it takes. Because sometimes you're going to go in conferences and you're going to have 1 hour, 30 minutes, name it. If you do half of the time, not really good for the attendees. If you're doing 1 hour and a half and you're supposed to have 1 hour, or you're not able to cover all the slides or all the topics or all the things that you want to share with people, it's not good. There's nothing that frustrates me more than when I'm when I'm listening to a speaker and say, oh, I'm going to skip this, I don't have the time. Maybe I came to your presentation to listen to exactly that part. And you say, hey, sorry, Fred, you're not important enough. I don't have much time to talk about it. So I prefer that you remove it before and you don't tell me that I'm going to miss that good information. So practicing will lead you to a better, perfect timing, better slides, visual help for attendees, and you're going to be able to know more what you want to share with people in the room. Because as you can see now, I'm not reading a script. I'm just thinking about, oh yeah, practicing, okay, this is what I have to say. This is what I want to share with people.
Right. I have a little question. If we practice, do you think we can practice with someone so that someone can tell us maybe things that he sees or she sees?
Yeah, so there's different ways to practice. You can practice with someone, and that can be an expert that do a lot of talks that will give you tips and tricks. That can be your mother, and that will probably be the best person. Took someone that just don't know your topic. You will see if your presentation is great, if you can reach the right audience, if you can share the information, because sometimes we got lost in our expertise. There's something that if I'm going to start to talk about web technology right now, I'm going to skip a lot of things, but this is beginning stuff, this is easy. I am doing this for 10 years. Maybe it's not the case from the people in the room. So it's really important to practice so you can do this in front of people. And I'm going to talk about some kind of events where you can go and you're going to have that help from different speaker people that have more experience. You totally ruined my intro for that slide. Thanks, Louis. So I was rude with all the audience all the time with that slide. So I really like that. I really like that guy. I don't know who he is, but I really like that picture. Really, my goal with that slide is stay who you are, even if you're that guy. Like, stay who you are. When you're on stage, don't try to be someone else. Just be yourself. I used to do my presentation in jeans and t-shirt all the times. I remember a presentation where I went, because it's me, it's part of my brand, it's part of me, people expecting me like to have like cool t-shirt when I go in conferences, all those things. And people don't expect me to be in suit, because this is not me, this is not Fred. Fred is not wearing a suit. So I remember one conference I did was at the Attendees Ingénieurs du Québec. So is there any engineer room? Okay. So you're the new wave, so it's maybe better. But you know, like you're Jinx and you're a cool engineer. But like the conference where everybody was in suit, everybody was so serious. And this is one of the engineers that was at the PodCamp that I did 3 years ago, saw me and said, Fred, I want the engineer to understand social media. I said, oh, seriously? I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. So I went there. I was the only guy in jeans. Everybody was looking at me. Oh, who's the guy? Oh, this is the garbage guy. Well, I'm doing presentations. And when he introduced me, I heard people in the room. Oh, like we're gonna lose the next hour. I said, oh, terrible. Who's that guy? Why did you go on stage? And people for the first 10 minutes it was like, oh, boring, like we don't like that guy. What is it? They stayed stuck in my outfit. And after the presentation, most of the people in the room came to me and said, we were not expecting that kind of presentation. You were amazing, real good presentation, best presentation of the year. We learned a lot. You had a great way to share with people. It was amazing. I stayed myself. I was funny during the presentation. I was making jokes. I was arrogant at some time. It was me. It was part of my presentation. It was me. It was my style. And maybe my presentation would really have shitty if I would put a suit and trying to be more serious and trying to be more that kind of like people for that kind of conference. So I stayed myself all the time, and I really ask you, if you start to do public speaking, stay yourself. Actually, that would be a kind of philosophical statement this morning. Stay yourself in whatever you do, whatever you wear, and whatever in life. Just stay yourself all the time. So where can I start? Because now I know that it's kind of exciting. There's a lot of great opportunity for me. I kind of know how to start, the little baby step that I need to do at the beginning to prepare my stuff. So there's a couple of places. There's Toastmaster.org. No, it's not just a Toastmaster. It's really an organization. It's international. I don't know that much about that organization, but I heard a lot of great things. There's a lot of groups in Montreal. I was surprised to see how many Toastmaster association there is in Montreal. It's about leadership, but it's about public speaking also. They have competition, they have experts that can help you, they have courses. So this is probably a good place to start to get some information. There is the website with a lot of information. So as I said, I don't know them that much. I really want to take some time in the future to know a little more about those. But I heard a lot of great things about Toastmasters. And it's international. And it's really huge in the States. It's really huge. I didn't hear a lot about them in Canada, but I know that in the States it's pretty huge. You can start at work. Just doing a presentation about a report, about something you did, about what your team did, about a product you're going to launch, about a campaign that you did, about marketing stuff. So starting at work may be the easiest way. You can just hack your boss. I would like to present about something to help the company to achieve this, to help people to understand maybe that social media is important, to help the company to understand that marketing is not just about bullshitting people. There's an important part in company. There's a lot of topics that you can share at work, and this is probably the easiest level of entry when you want to do public speaking. Not all company will give you that opportunity. Maybe if you're a freelancer, you cannot do this out of work, but you can do this in front of your mirror. So there is those events that we call camp. So I saw them a lot in the IT and web industry. So to be totally honest, I don't know if there's a lot more elsewhere, but I know there is some book camp around book and all those topics. So there is two kind of camp style even. There is the real one, the one that have no organization. There is one main topic. You come at the event, you take post-it, you write the topic you want to share, we talk about it with people, put it on the wall, and there is one person that will manage the discussion. So it's not really about being in front of people and talking to a lot of people or doing a presentation you prepared before. But it's more about, it's really like the first step. You're going to introduce your topic to other people, you're going to share with other people, so you're going to have a discussion with people you don't know. So that can be a really good start. But there's also those camp events that are not quite camp events. They call it on conference. So this is like a conference, but not so official. It's more laid back. So like the PodCamp that I was talking about, there's a lot of PodCamp everywhere. I organized something like in the past FailCamp. So those have speakers. The schedule is made way before, but usually they give a lot of chances to beginners, to people that never spoke at any events. And this is how I got my chance to start to speak. Because they say, hey Fred, you never spoke before. It's okay. We believe in you. You have something to share. You have a good topic. We'll give you a chance. There is those Ignite style or speaker idols. So I remember speaker idols when I was running the HTML5 user group in Montreal. We did this once a year, the first year actually that was there. And it was basically an event where you never spoke before? Fine. Come to that event, do a presentation of 15 minutes. Not too long, not too hard to prepare. 15 minutes. It's a competition, but at the end of your 15 minutes, you're gonna have like 2-3 experts that do a lot of public speaking that gonna give you tips and tricks. This thing was good. This was like, did you think that you can modify this or change this a little bit? So you got a lot of great advice. And there is the Ignite style kind of presentation. So there is a couple of events, again in the web and IT, but I'm pretty sure that there is a lot more of those kind of events in different kind of work. And those ones are kind of difficult, but will help you with the flow of your presentation because you have, I think it's 15 minutes, and every minute your slide changes automatically. So you don't have the time to do that huge presentation during one slide. It's like bang, 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 bang. You need to have your story ready. You need to know what you need to say. You need to have the flow in your presentation. So it's really good events to do. And user groups are meetup. User groups are events like social media breakfast. I'm pretty sure they have people that never spoke before. And there's so many amazing people. I'm thinking about if you're a part of a startup. There's the startup breakfast also. They give the opportunity to people that never speak in front of anybody. In user groups, I know we use this a lot in the IT community. There are so many user groups around technology. Most of the time, they give the opportunity to users that never spoke before. So this is really great opportunity. In conferences, of course. And don't tell me, oh, I'm not big enough. I didn't have enough experience to go to conferences. Most of the conferences, no matter the type of topic of the conferences, they usually have a time where they are asking to get speaker to proposal time. So they say, oh, from that time to that time, submit your topic, and we're going to select the speakers. And sometimes, of course, they will take speakers that are well known, but most of the times they will also take new speakers. I know that Eric in the room, he started like this. He submitted something to a conference in Toronto, and he got accepted. You didn't have any speaking experience.
At user group.
At user group. So he went from user group to conferences, and he did an amazing job. They select him, he went to the conference, made it. So that may not happen all the time, because most of the time those conferences got a lot of proposal. But take your chance. And there is a lot in Montreal or around Montreal, but there's also a lot of conferences outside of Montreal, outside of Canada, and some of them pay travel and expense. So this is pretty cool. You go somewhere, they pay for your travel, they pay for the plane, for the hotel, you only have to pay for your food most of the time. Great experience, and you got to travel also. So, I'm gonna shut up soon. So I want you to do public speaking. This is my only goal. This is my true goal for this morning. I never hide it. I want you to at least think that you could be a public speaker. Then you could start to do public speaking. And I want you to do epic shit. This is one of my best. I like epic shit. I have a t-shirt that's written do epic shit. No, but I don't like if you want to succeed in life, don't be average. Just be epic. Just be amazing in everything you do. So if you start to do public speaking, ping me on Twitter, ping me on LinkedIn, ping me on Facebook. I'm not the super speaker, like there is way more better speaker than me all over the world. But I'm there, I'm in Montreal, you can talk to me. It's not a business, it's just I do this for the pleasure. So it will depend on my agenda, it will depend on my traveling plans, because I'm traveling a lot with work. But I may be there to help you. So you want some tips and tricks, you want me to review your slides, you want me to practice in front of me. That's okay. Just be ready to get the hard truth. I'm that hassle. So, but I'm there to help. And I'm just one people. Sometimes you think that, oh, this guy is doing speaking all across the world. He won't talk to me, that little guy from Montreal, that little woman from Montreal. Most of the time it's true, but sometimes those people, they are really approachable. So you can just like ping them, hey, I'm starting to do public speaking. Do you have any advice for me? And most of the time they will take the time to do it. They will reply to you. So talk to people, talk to other people. So that's it. I think we're ready for a break, and after we're going to take questions.
Yeah, we'll do 2-3 minutes. You go to the washroom, grab a coffee.
Yeah. And if you have any question, comments, insult on the presentation, please prepare this and be ready to shoot me after the break.
Thanks, Fred.
Thank you.